Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a former Boeing 737 pilot, and welcome to another Ryanair Real Ops. Today we're going to fly the 737-800 with split scimitar winglets from a lovely Pyrigry Birmingham airport over to Berlin for a beautiful early morning VATSIM event. So, the weather here in Birmingham is a little bit foggy, as you can see. We're looking at visibilities of around 400 meters, but I'd say without any further ado, we just get straight into this and board our 737, as we've got our scheduled off-block already in around 25 minutes. So, standard Ryanair operations over here. So getting on board, first things first, let's go ahead and turn that ground service bus on, which is going to get some things like the cabin lighting going. Now, from here, straight into the flight deck to start setting up. So we're flying the 9 Hotel Quebec Alpha Hotel today, which is one of the most modern setups of the 737 that Ryanair does have in its fleet, so that we can actually do some realistic modern ops today. So let's start, and it is freaking cold outside. It is December after all, so we are going to be starting the APU straight away here, because otherwise it's just too cold. So here we go, APU start, and off we go. Alright, so let's also turn a fuel pump on already, and then we can continue with our safety rainbow. So, voice recorder on, clackers, both sides tested, flight recorder test is okay. IRS is coming on, and then let's stow away our codes, provided we can find the click spot. So let's just make it a bit brighter, and then we absolutely can. So, flight kits are going down there, and then we can take a seat in our Boeing 737. So, let's go ahead and have a look at what exactly we are going to be doing today, and we'll start with that right on the... right on the electronic flight bag. So, request data from SimBrief, please. Still night. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting to release that log location button. So, scrolling down a little bit, we are using the Ryanair OFP format. As we can see, weather, we got that number 2 on our departure here, which is some turbulence in the initial climb out. Apart from that, good weather all the way into Berlin. Now, looking into the airport weather, Birmingham, as mentioned, 400 meters visibility, RVR 900, and fog, broken clouds 100, temperatures 5, so we don't need to do freezing condition ops. Berlin, overcast 200, also 5 degrees. Visibility is slowly improving, so things are getting better. Now, we do have a departure alternate in Manchester, which has good weather conditions, and our destination alternate in Leipzig is also absolutely fine, as you can see, for an arrival at 0800 UTC. Now, looking into the flight plan, we are going to arrive 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie is going to be our call sign. Down here, everything's looking good, and then we can make a fuel decision here. They want us to carry 7.6 tons, and honestly I don't see any reason to take more than that, so let's go with those 7.6 tons that they want us to carry. Now, something I do like to do is to go down here and FS Actions, Ground Services, let's go ahead and request the tuck down here, 7,600, so that we can do real-time refueling. Alright, so that stuff is done, then let's go ahead and start with a couple of the basic things we gotta do over here. EFIS is set, the light test, I swear this time I'm not forgetting it, is looking fantastic, all the lights are operating, good, and if we're on it we can test those as well. Alright, oxygen is also looking good. Fantastic. So the APU is operating, then let's turn the air conditioning on and make it nice and warm inside. Also gonna put some lights on, well, and now you can head out for the walk around. while we keep working on our airplane. So let's see, the fuel tuck is attaching, and here we go, we can start the refueling process. Previous crew put the airplane here with 4.3 tons on board, that is quite a lot, but hey, I'm not gonna complain about having more fuel. Okay, so then let's get started with our FMC setup. So we'll start going into the data link ATS ATIS Echo Golf Bravo Bravo VATSIM ATIS request. And if there is no ATC currently online, then you will see we're just going to get generalized weather that PMDG kind of makes look like an ATIS, but they do tell you in the comments that it is not an actual ATIS. So not something that you can tell your VATSIM controller that you have. Alright, so let's also dim those lights. About half is normally very good in night conditions. Like that. Perfect. Alright, while we're waiting for the weather to arrive, let's start in the FMC. 737-800 with split scimitars, 26K rating, and nav database is up to date. We can copy and paste the GPS position, and then let's get started with our route. Echo Golf Bravo Bravo to Echo Delta Delta Bravo. Almost. Like that. Romeo Yankee Romeo 42 Fox Charlie. So departing Birmingham, runway 15, Daventry to Yankee. Let's open the route over here as well. Here we go. Okay, so from there we proceed via Papa 166 towards Banto, Papa 155 to Sifda, then we got Papa 137 to Redfar, from there direct Tara, then we continue direct Tenley, direct Mavek, direct Batel, and then via Tango 207 towards Okber. And the arrival for now will program the ILS Zulu 24 left with the Okber 1 Lima arrival, but we'll see, might have to change that later on. So activate, and then we can continue. Kostanek 6. 3.2 tons reserves. Then zero fuel 58.2, flight level 370 is the cruise level, average wind 245 at 43, ISA deviation 0 looks good, and for the takeoff page acceleration altitude 1000, and we'll take a wet runway just to be sure here. So climb page is checked, fixed page, Echo Golf, Bravo Bravo, and a 25-mile ring, and that's about it. Cool, then let's put that stuff away. Refueling is also finished, so let's go down here, weight and balance, load plane from SimBrief, and precise loading 4600. Alright, cool. So let's go for GSX and request our boarding. And while that's ongoing, we can continue up here setting our airplane up. So no fuel in the center tanks, 7.8 is the wing tank limit. We are only using 7.6 today. Refueling has just been completed. So all that good stuff is done. Then we do have the new pressurization panel in here. Flight level 370, and the fuel tank can already be released. Very quick cheat, going down to the lax page, we can see runway waypoint has 200 feet elevation, always 50 feet higher than the actual field elevation, because the FMS wants to cross the runway threshold in 50 feet. So now let's find our departure chart for the Daventry to Yankee departure. So we need the airport chart, and we need the parking stance and coordinates, and then Daventry to Yankee on-off departure. So, runway track 146. Like that. Initial climb 6,000. Is set, and radial 300 inbound, so 120 degrees on the courses. Weight just set. Superb. Fuel flow reset. Now, let's see about the weather. So, Birmingham information Alpha at 0920, surface wind 200 at 5, slightly variable, clouds broken 100, temperature 5. And as you can see down here, generated by PMDG using VATSIM data. That is what I meant earlier on when I said that PMDG is going to generate their own ATIS based on the VATSIM data if there is no actual controller online here in Birmingham. So we got that, then the QNH is 1027. Giving us around 300 feet elevation, so let's take an MFRA of 1320, so 1000 AGL. And here we go, 1320 is set. Superb, so going further down, parking brake can most certainly be set. For the radios, we are going to be using 122.8 and 121.5 initially. But let's deselect this for the time being. Okay, so frequencies 116.4 Daventry. Going active and on both sides. Excellent, so transponder should of course be in 2000 and nothing different. Weather radar goes to weather and turbulence, the rest is set down here. Okay, and that's our cockpit setup completed. So we've done all of this good stuff here. There is no ATC online to give us any clearance, so that is that. Boarding is ongoing. I just absolutely love how the passengers are just walking the actual correct paths over here. Especially when taking into consideration that this stand is a multifunction stand, so 54 center would be where the Emirates A380 parks, but since that thing only arrives a little bit later, you can put 2 medium aircraft onto the sidelines over here, and the GSX profile actually is capable of recognizing that. And capable of recognizing the correct walkways for the passengers. I mean, this is of course... But yeah, this actually looks pretty correct down here. I do like that. Alright, cool. Then let's go right back inside, and I suppose our first officer should be back from the walk-around, so let's get started on the departure briefing. So, threats for today's departure... Honestly, I don't see any. Low visibility is of course something. So, good look at our TCAS, good to watch out on Honeycomb to make sure that there is no traffic that we're going into. Apart from that, nothing. So, then let's continue with the route check. We're going from Echo Golf Bravo Bravo to Echo Delta Delta Bravo, Romeo Yankee Romeo 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Our routing today is from Daventry, Papa 166 Banto, Papa 155 Sifter, Papa 137 Redfar, direct Thatcher, direct Chanley, direct Marbeck, direct Bartel, Tango 207 Okbar, and the ground distance is 642 miles versus 649 miles. That's close enough, and 3.7 remaining, 3.2 required, giving us about 10 minutes extra fuel. The time UTC is now 06:35, altimeter 1027, reading 320, MFRA 1320, flight directors are on, minus the master, and the standby instruments are set. It's a left-sea takeoff, runway 15, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure number 2, and we got no specials. Initial speed limit 220 knots. Engine out straight at 25 miles, and the minimum safe altitude in that area is 2,200, so we can climb to 3,000, which keeps us safe all around the airport, and then we can come back either for an approach to runway 15 if the weather conditions and the type of failure permit. Otherwise, Manchester is our takeoff alternate, which is just 15 minutes to the north. Now, for the emergencies above 80 knots, I'll only reject for fire or fire warning, engine failure, predictive wind chill warning, or if the aircraft is unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I will simultaneously close the thrust levers and disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum manual braking, or verify operation of the RTO auto brakes. Manually raise the speed brake lever, and when the aircraft comes to a stop, I will set the parking brake. If you call stop, I will note the brakes on speed, call speed brakes up or speed brakes not up, and thrusters normal are normal indications. I'll call 100 knots, 80 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. I verify your actions and call your emissions. I call auto brake disarm and select flaps 40 when the parking brake has been set and advise ATC of the reject. We then identify the failure and carry out any drills as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we redo the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CBRCB, you grab the lid, then we get out. If the call before V1 is keep going, there'll be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise a landing over the pole, I'm afraid. At 400 feet, verify heading, select and carry out the memory items. At the MFRA, buck up, retract flaps and schedule, flaps up and light, select level change, max continue thrust, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, normal checklist, PIOS in its PA, and then we decide. So, our pushback is going to be with a nose to the right-hand side, probably into the apron alley, I suppose. So into Victor over here, and then we taxi out a runway 15, Victor, Delta. So Victor, Delta, Alpha, and we'll calculate the full-length runway 15. Our SIT is the Daventry to Yankee Arnav departure, a couple notes over here, but none of those is really important for us. Yeah. Straight at, then we do have a couple of on-off points that we can quickly go over here. So, BBS 02 for maximum to 10, then BBS 04 to 10, BBS 06 to 10, BBS 09 to 50, BBE 12 max to 50 between 4 and 6, waypoint 16. 250 between 5 and 6, waypoint 19, max 250 at 6,000, and Daventry at 6,000. Now I apparently forgot to insert the transition altitude in here. Here we go. And warning, no turns below 900 feet. Warning, do not climb above 6,000 until cleared by air traffic control. We plan neither of the two today, and that's our departure briefing complete. Any questions? No? Beautiful. Our boarding seems to be completed as well, so let's say hello to our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Ryanair, I would like to welcome you all aboard our Boeing 737-800 on our flight to Berlin. Today's flight time has been calculated at 2 hours and, correction, at 1 hour and 40 minutes, expecting a smooth flight at an altitude of 11,300 meters. We are just finishing up the last paperwork, so for now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew members. The cabin crew will shortly commence the safety demonstration, so please give them your full attention, as it is not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the passengers sitting around you. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. So, the passengers are done as well. Then let's go ahead and close that door. And then they can prepare the airplane. Air stairs after exit. Okay, let's fix that. So, door management, close all. So we'll wait a second with the pushback, and arm all please. Thank you. And last but not least, still work in progress, is the air stair. Ground power, very quick check. Yep, can be removed. So ground power is released, parking brake is set, chocks are removed. And then finally, going down here, air stair retract. I said retract. Does it really want the chocks for that? That'd be interesting. Either that, or it wants the main door open. That could be as well. So let's just open one left, retract the air stair. Yeah. Now it is retracting, I think. Or is it? It's not. Okay. Well, then we are going to do it ourselves. Typical, whenever something needs to be done, you always need to do it yourself. But see guys, that's why I'm recording this with the beta version and why it's not completely released for you guys yet. Because there's simply some stuff that is still getting worked on. Some polishing, some ironing out of some stuff, as you can see. Alright, so let's close that door. Okay, slide is armed. Looks good. Okay, so that stuff is done, then we can arm that door, and now everything is closed. Now we can also remove the trunks. Excellent. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with our... Let's go ahead and start with our performance, please. So 58.2 is now 58.3. 100 kilos heavier, that's fine. 65.9 tons is checked, and the takeoff CG is 24. Then let's go into the performance tool, Birmingham 1.5, import, anti-ice is going to be on, and that's looking good, so calculate. Takeoff 2, 51 degrees. And that's 86.6. Okay, flaps 5, 24 CG, and... we do have the runway dry in here, which is fine. 43, 44, 45. Which is very different from the FMC speeds. Why is that? Wait, 65.9? 1.5? That seems correct. 65.9? Ah, interesting. What happens if I turn this dry? Yep, now it matches. Okay. So they're all within 1 knot. Then we can take the FMC speeds. And 144 is set. Beautiful. So 5.3 units trim. And then let's start with the safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to the line, please. Services and shocks checked, maintenance status checked, battery on, electric hydraulic pumps on, landing gear lever down, chips library checked, iris mode selectors nav, gibbons. We got 1, 2, and 3 removed. Probe covers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 removed. Light test checked. Oxygen test 100%. Yaw damper on. Nav transfer and display switches normal and auto. Fuel 7.5 required. 7.5 on board. 4 pumps on. Cabin utility IT galley power on. Emergency exit lights on. Fast modes on. Window heat on. Aircon press. PAX auto. Bleeds on set. Pressurization mode selector auto. Instruments trust checked. Auto brake. RTO. Hydraulics. Normal. Speed brakes. Down detent, parking brake set, stop and cutout switches normal, wheel to fire warning checked, radius radar and transponder set and standby, radar and aileron trims 3 and 0, takeoff briefing discussed, PA complete, FMC and CDU set, and 1 on ES box, automatic reduced 22k, speeds 43, 43, 44 set, stop trim 5.3 set, performance weight and balance sign and send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stilled, flight windows and cockpit door locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete down to the line. Alright, beautiful. So then, I'd say, in the absence of any air traffic control, we can go ahead and start our pushback. Birmingham traffic, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, pushing back, stand 5-4 right. So, before start checklist below the line, aircon packs off, anti-collision light on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete. So, ground from flight deck, pushback and startup approved facing south, and the parking brake is set. We'll make that facing west onto Victor, please. Okay, release parking brake. Brakes released, and we are waiting for your signal to start the engines. Roger that. Okay, and with that, off we go. Yeah, of course there is someone taxiing out. Why didn't they say something when I started the pushback? Well, they are moving faster than us though, so I suppose it's going to be fine.
E7 traffic air Sweden 522 taking off runway 27.
Okay, well, can't do anything about that now, so let's go ahead and start the engines 2 and 1 in that sequence. So, ground flight deck, we are ready for engine start, and we'll commence engine number 2. Prior to that, clear to start 2. Starting 2. And 2.
For takeoff.
All pressure. And 1.
And Alpha.
And since we are not going to get any ATC clearance, I'll set the altitude to 6,000 now. Starter cutout, monitor 2, starting 1. And pushback's completed, set parking brake. Parking brake set. Where is it? Why are they pulling it forward? Oh. Okay. So, N2. Oil pressure, N1. Now the pushback is completed. And the parking brake is set again. Starter cutout, monitor 1, 2, 4, 6, 3, number 1 stable. Okay, let's start with the flight controls, except for the rudder. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. And waiting for the rudder until all the ground equipment is removed. Before taxi checklist down to flight controls, please. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, propane on, anti-ice, engine anti-ice on, air conditioning, packs, auto bleeds on, isolation of auto, flaps, 5 required, 5 selected, and green lights, stop trim 5.3 set, start levers, idle detent, and waiting for the flight controls. Well, that's a clear signal received, so let's check the rudders, full left, full right, neutral. Flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. Wingman, traffic, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie, taxi holding point, runway 15 via Delta and Alpha. So that's the Chanax, and we are behind the Chanax. Who is taxiing with the taxi lights off? No comment on that. So let's do it like this, then we can at least see something. Where is he waiting? Well, then, let's go. So, configs checked. No comments on how the fog is acting on that Airbus model there. Alright, so we are now on Delta, then it's going to be a half right turn onto Alpha later on, second half right. Which is what this guy has probably just realized as well, and is he going through the grass? Yeah, he is. Welcome to VATSIM, my friends. So now the question, where is the Easy going? I do hope he is going to wait. No, he's not. Oh, yes he is. Okay. A little bit too close. That would probably damage our winglet. Well, let's take her a little bit to the side. He's not on Honeycomb at all, is he? Alright, before takeoff checklist down to the line, please. Config, checks, flaps, 5, 5, and the green light. Step trim, 5.3 sets. Takeoff briefing, left seat takeoff runway 15, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, takeoff speeds 43, 43, 44 set. And it will be tax auto bleeds on, engine RTI is on. The SID takes us straight out right-hand turn, initially 210 knots, which should be fine to retract the flaps completely. And engine out straight at 25 miles, climbing 3000, takeoff alternate Manchester, but standstill is also available if required. Well, apart from that, I got nothing special or non-standard here, so that's our takeoff briefing complete. And the cabin secured before takeoff checklist complete. Visibility isn't too bad. I would probably go faster than 15 knots over here. I mean, if it was really down to 100 meters or so, then absolutely slow it down, but 400 meters. If you think about it yourself, guys, visibility 400 meters, how fast would you go on a highway? As a German, I can confidently say 200. Okay, he's actually taking the intersection. Well, that's good. Okay, that's good. If he's going on the intersection, then we can just take the full length, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. That was close. With that EasyJet just touching down there. So they would probably have kept 3 operations in progress here, or low visibility operations in progress. So we are going to hold short at the Cap 2 holding point until that airplane is gone. Looks like there is another TUI in front of us over there as well. Three, 3. That's a wrong runway. Ryanair on final to Birmingham. Just be aware the full runway exit is blocked. Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie is holding short at runway 15, category 3 holding point. Okay, so we gotta wait for that Ryanair as well, and when he's landed in the opposite direction, welcome to VATSIM.
Mechanics for Tango Mine will hold the rocky approaches runway. Ryanair.
So that Ryanair is not going to have a nice time. If the Chanex is holding and he's on Bravo, we're in Alpha, then all his exits are blocked. He'll have to backtrack. Oh yeah. And here's my reminder why I don't like to fly in Honeycomb. So he's holding, we're holding. Exits Bravo and Alpha are blocked by aircraft. I'm just saying that on frequency so that, you know, the guy can decide what to do. Ryanair on final, just be advised that both Bravo and Alpha are blocked by aircraft holding short runway 15.
Roger,
I mean, could he? Yeah, I
Line up,
suppose.
M15, or Tango line.
Why is he lining up now? No! Oh man. Birmingham, Ryanair, 42 Fox Charlie, behind the departing Jet 2, line of runway 15, via the full length behind. Since it's low visibility operations, we need to wait until this gentleman is actually airborne, otherwise we would be potentially disturbing the localizer signal. So we gotta stick to the Cat 3 holding point here. For VATSIM purposes, I'll simply wait until the guy is airborne, or until he's moving, because we're not gonna see when he's gonna be airborne, at least not without any ATC. That's how these things are getting interesting, isn't it? I mean, with ATC it would have been nicer.
Tango line. Passing runway 15.
Okay, so if he's taking off now, then... Excellent! So, looks like he has not vacated where we are, that's good. So let's go ahead and fly now. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. B4 takeoff checklist below the line. MCP, set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, holding at landing lines. So, stop bar still on. Obviously we would not be crossing this in the real world now, but flight simulator. Okay, previous aircraft is airborne, we just saw him there. Birmingham, Ryanair, 42 Fox Charlie, takeoff runway 15. So let's complete the checklist. MCP set, transponder, Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, B4 takeoff checklist complete. So, ready? Climbing. Set, takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Tracked. Hello. God, I hate it. Honeycomb. You're up. LNAV. Back up. flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. Come on, keep accelerating, please. Here we are, 210. So now we should need about 12.5 degrees pitch. Just like this. Perfect. So, flaps up no lights. VNAV after takeoff checklist. And engine anti-ice off. Air cannon press, 1.8, climbing set. Holding at altimeters. So, I suppose we can continue our climb over here since there is no ATC limiting us. So let's make it level 150. Why is there some default ATC doing nonsense in the background? Well, set standard. Send a cross check, passing level 45 now. Checked. Alright, let's clear all those constraints there. And here we go. Sometimes you have to fly a tiny bit outside the flight director. Especially when you're a single pilot and don't immediately get to react to everything that happens. So just put the vector line on the nav display onto the magenta route, and you will see eventually the flight director is going to come in pretty much exactly to the position where it's supposed to be. Alright, cool. Then we've got all of this lovely stuff done over here. So let's put on the autopilot. Command A. And now we're lovely on the way. So let's do a little bit of stuff here. So 0841 and the schedule is 0850. Perfect. So we'll be on block on time. That is lovely. So down here, what do we have? Optimum 383, cruising 370. That's perfectly fine. So I'm happy with that. Now, I suppose there is no ATC anywhere nearby, so might as well take a little shortcut and proceed direct to what makes sense here, Banto, I guess. So, direct, Banto. Yeah, looks good. Execute, LNAV available, LNAV. Okay, so climbing to flight level 370, which we now have set 1, 2, and 3 times, and we are monitoring 1 to 1.5. Perfect, so that's our items complete. Now we are passing level 100, 10 checks, fuel balanced, 4 pumps, lights off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.0, climbing and set, fasten belts. Yep, we can release them. Recall checked, 1 to 1.5 monitoring, CVDLC not online, and that's the 10 checks complete. So guys, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight to Berlin and the beautiful sunset that we're about to encounter. And then I'll see you all when we are on the approach in about an hour and a bit. are descending down to Berlin, and we are already inbound to the VATSIM event as promised. So let's go ahead and start setting our airplane up for today's arrival. So we are just descending to level 150 right now. We have someone in front of us who apparently is not using any weather, contrary to the code of conduct. So there is quite a speed difference between us, because we simply have 46 knots of tailwind over here. But ATC is working on that. That's why we got speed 280 instructed by air traffic control at the moment. And yeah, we are flying a little bit above the cleanup profile. But I've traded the profile for a shortcut from here direct into the final. We're probably going to fly a little bit further than that anyway, so I don't really care about being a little bit above the profile right now. In any case, let's already go ahead and turn on the seatbelt sign, as we are in the best case 15 minutes prior to landing, and then we can start checking our arrival here. We just have an ATC call down there. Let's see what that is. Atus Romeo. Romano 630 Ryanair for Fox Charlie. Ciao.
Boeing 67 Lima 125 away. 515 by your frequency.
1000 to go. Speed, vertical speed. That was an incorrect readback. ATC said too far right, the guy read back too far left. Can tell you already that that's going to become interesting. Driver, schönen guten Morgen, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie, descending level 150, speed 280, Atus Romeo.
Fox Charlie, landing arrival is below your identified. Situation Romeo is currently expected right vector, Atus Zulu, runway 2 for right, flight level 11.
Descending level 110, expect vector, Silas Zulu 2 for right, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie. Set, 110 checked, and level change. Okay, Romeo is confirmed, but we of course get the different runway, so Zulu runway 24 right. Let's go ahead and start programming that. Now some of you might say, why haven't you prepared that on route 2? The answer is because route 2 would normally be used for our next flight already, so we do anything on the active flight in the active route as well. So ILS Zulu 24 right is prepared down there. Okba 1 Lima arrival stays in the FMS for the time being, and we're already going direct out arrival 433. Let's put that up here once again. And I did have a 5000 restriction in, which is pretty much exactly what we need for the shortcut. Okay, so here we go. 5000 is back in there. So let's go ahead and do a very quick setup. 244 on the courses, frequencies 109.9.
2515, let's take 100.
Is now active on both sides, and now we need Sierra Delta Delta 14.4. And do we need anything else? Nope. Okay. So minimum 354. Like that. Well, and then let's start. Quickly reset the rings as well. Runway 24 right, /10 miles and /5 miles. Speed 250 Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Okay, speed 250. Set in flat top later Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie. Set, flat top later checked. Alright, cool. So everything is reset for the new runway. Then let's start our approach briefing, please. And tell you what, let's quickly, come on, let's quickly grab that sunshade. Oh, TCAS, complete nonsense. No clue what that thing is doing. Alright, so let's start the approach briefing. Threats for the arrival, honestly, I do not see any. The weather is okay, broke clouds 500 now, so that's absolutely gonna do. Okay, so for the FMS, 250 below 100, forecast page is filled in, fixed strings 2 for right, 10 miles, 5 miles, and the approach itself starts at in 4000. That is what we got. 3 degree glide slope down to a minimum of 354, which we got, and 1000. No, actually not. Okay, so go around is straight ahead. Delta Bravo 810. Then a right turn. Delta Bravo 811, max 210, which we got, and then to Okbok climbing 5000, maximum speed 250, and we got all of that. Alright, beautiful. So that's everything that we got in the FMC. Now for the fuel, we are burning 400 in the worst case, 200 in a better case, so let's just take the current speed here. Flaps 30, auto brakes 3, actually tell you what, let's do flaps 40, so that we can vacate at the earlier exit. So flaps 40, auto brakes 3, vacate the runway to the left, and then it should be a fairly short taxi here. Fuel remaining 3.4, minimum required is 3.2, so that gives us 5 minutes extra on top of the entire transition. Alright, vacate the runway to the left, we contact ground on our own. Let's just check the frequency real quick. So 8 is Romeo, after vacating to far right, contact ground 129505. And that's now set. So 129505 is in there, and well, that's pretty much everything we need to do. Okay, beautiful. Do you have any further questions or suggestions? Oh, I suppose not. And that's our briefing completed, so let's do the descent checklist. Pressurization, land out 150, anti-ice off, first fuel disgusting, ES outboard is checked and set, descent checklist complete. Descent 5000 feet QNH 1026, Ryanair 42 Foster Charlie. Set, 5000 checked, set QNH. QNH 1026, cross check, passing 10,140 now. So they advised us that we are going to expect radar vectors, so technically speaking we're not cleared beyond anything after Delta Bravo 433. But for the time being, altimeters passing 9,800, descending 5,000, 10 checks. Fuel balance, 4.some, lights on, angle of bank 25, air cannon press 3.4, descending set, fast modes on, recall checked, cabin crew 10 minutes to landing. Okay, 1 to 1.5 deselected, and the cabin crew is advised, CPDLC disconnected, 10 checks complete. Beautiful. So let's follow up with the first check straight away. Frequencies 109.9. Check 3 times. Fixed rings runway 2 for right, 10 miles, 5 miles. Items. Continue present heading, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Heading select. Okay, so islands, ILS Berlin Northwest, and that's check 3 times, then by instruments set, and courses 244, cross-checked, approach checklist, altimeters and instruments, set cross-check, approach rates, check and set, approach checklist complete. And that is the latest point to turn on the VSD as well. Beautiful. Descent 4000, speed 220 or less, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Set, 4000 checked, and speed 220. So, let's give it a bit of speed brake here, just in case that we do get the shortcut. Absolutely, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Okay, that means we are going to get the shortcut. Flaps 1. Speed checked. So, let's... Right, 150, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie. Heading 150. Okay, Ubu on top. Let's see. 2000 high, that's fine. That's 5. Speed check, that's 5. And here we go. So 220, flaps 5, speed brake should give you around 2,000 to 2,300 feet a minute here. And that's about the best that we are going to get here. Right into the sun, of course. V200 Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. They're not making it easy for us.
Good afternoon, Speedbird 46 Charlie, descending to flight level 1.
With a speed reduction like that, it's going to get rather difficult to intercept the glide, but we'll be able to do so.
Expecting vectors, silent
Left 10.
Speed
check.
Speedbird 46 Charlie. Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie to 3000 feet.
Descending altitude 3000 Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Set, 3000 checked.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, Ryanair 10 cleared as approach 2 for right.
Right 210, cleared LS 2 for right, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie. Okay, heading 210. And then let's see. 2,200 feet a minute. We are going to end up slightly above the glide. That traffic is going to be IMC, but we do have a multicast Ryanair 44 Charlie. Unable, otherwise we are not going to be able to catch the glide. 200 until established, then speed 160 until 4, Ryanair 44 Charlie. All captured. Runway heading 244. And approach round. Now we are cleared for the approach, so let's descend a little bit further here. Let's make that 1500 on the MCP. Okay, so we'll be catching the glide slope. As soon as we're on the glide, we start reducing our speed.
Left heading 250, descending 5000.
We don't need this any longer. Pitch down to your side. Glide slope capture. So, go around altitude 4,000 cents.
Charlie, thanks much for the cooperation. Call tower 12030, repeat.
12030, Ryanair 44 Charlie, jet.
Philadelphia for Whiskey. 014 Delta.
So the headwind obviously really helps, and they got terrain nodes. Weather's not a factor here. I'll go into terrain as well.
Alex, for this line up when the ACT landed and then they to for Mike taxi via Berlin or short Victor 1. Select the Bravo Hotel Victor 1, Vietnam 1 for 1.
Early Tower, good morning, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, ILS 2 for right.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, Low Tower, Boeing.
Alright, that looks pretty good. That was definitely the kind of vector that I do appreciate. But we couldn't have done much more. I mean, you see how tight this approach is already. Reaching 15E, gear down, flaps 15, and landing checklists, please. Start switches, continuous, recall, check, speed brake on green light, landing gear down 3 green, auto brake 3 set. So 160 until 40 ME, and flaps 30. Actually tell you what, flaps 25. And we're reaching 40 ME, that's fine. Let's start reducing. Flaps 40. Speed check. So the next frequency is going to be 129505. So complete the landing checklist. That's flaps. 40, 40 green lights, holding at landing lines. So let's already get the taxi chart ready.
And the lead traffic line up to 4 less than 3 behind 0 Foxtrot. Lufthansa 1560 via Victor 3 Hotel Foxtrot.
We are not clear to land yet, so I suppose the previous traffic is not really indicating. 500, continue.
Ryanair 24 Foxtrot Charlie, 24 degrees, step north, runway 24 right, clear to land.
Runway 24 right, clear to land, Ryanair 40, Foxtrot Charlie. Landing lights on, landing check is completed.
737 on short final, line up runway 24 right, behind.
After landing Ryanair, line up to far right, Scandinavia.
Continue.
Lufthansa 25, 15 for the apron on the 1-1, that's what 855 goodbye.
So, visual, I go a little bit below the glide slope here.
50.
Hello, City of Portable Mike, Victor for Airbus Sigma 5 departure.
Speedbird 975 Hotel contact departure.
Speed break up, thrust goes normal.
Goodbye. Zeroing 14
knots.
Contact departure on 120.340, goodbye.
80 knots.
Contact departure 120.
Manual brakes. Auto brake disarm.
I think Victor 1 is booked by the Lufthansa A350.
Yes, in a sense, you might continue on the ground from takeoff.
Pulling ground, good morning, Ryanair 40 Foxtrot Charlie, vacating 2 far right. Pulling ground, good morning, Ryanair 40 Foxtrot Charlie, vacating 2 far right.
Canadian Road, line up runway 24 right.
Hold short, out.
Okay, then we have to block the exit.
Canadian 48 Foxtrot, 242 degrees, step north, runway 24 right, clear for takeoff.
To far right, set for takeoff, Scandinavia Park.
Canadian 4724, line up runway 24 left.
Line up and wait, runway 24 left, 4724.
Tower Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie, we get no reply on 129.505.
Yeah.
No, we're definitely off on this video product.
Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie, we don't get any replies on 129.505.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, roger, taxi via Victor 3, road short Foxtrot.
Victor 3, short Foxtrot, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, contact April on 121, this one 855, goodbye.
121.855, jump.
Hello, City Airport, Mike, bitte vor April 5.
City Airport on Mike, stop.
April 9, Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, taxiing Victor 3, hold short Fox.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, April road taxi Victor 3, hold short Fox.
That's clear, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie, short Fox.
Ryanair 42 Foxtrot Charlie, you made out for your position Alpha 12 by Foxtrot.
Alpha 12 by Foxtrot, Ryanair 42 Fox Charlie. Okay, perfect. So once we're on the apron, it's going to be to the left, and then position Alpha 12, which is at the end of the terminal. Good. So recall is checked, and then we have 3 minutes. Shutdown engine 2. So Foxtrot is left over here, and that KLM 777 is blocking the taxiway, is he? Well, it may just about fit.
Hello, Pendular White, California, Takeoff.
Okay, so GSX, get me my Mashallah, please.
Charlie 12 for that takeoff in 501.
So Alpha 12, no follow me needed, handling by
Just
Visa.
takeoff in that 501. Thank you.
Yeah, we should fit behind that 777. Even though I kind of doubt that they would be parking them here in the real world. Well, that's it. Just a careful check. Yeah, that works.
In April 9, Aufhalten nach dem Papa Lima, holding and Victor 1.
Alright, start APU. So, approaching Alpha 12, lights off. Okay, the marshal is in sight. Two blue, one red, engines dead. Cabin crew, orders in park. Okay. So, engines are coming down.
Go away to the passing from the A320, then taxi via Victor 2 Echo stand Charlie 01 up in a San Papalima.
Alright, and we got both engines below 20%. Then let's do the transit shutdown checklist, please. Electrical on APU, fast melts off, propede auto, NEI's off. Air compacts auto, engine bleeds on, APU bleed off, exterior lights set, start switches off, auto brake off, speed brake down to 10, flaps up no light, parking brake set, start levers cut off, weather radar off, transponder 2000 standby, CB in, cockpit door unlocked, and that's the transit shutdown checklist complete. Alright, so before any of our passengers are actually falling down the airplane, let's go back here and first of all make sure that the door is not actually armed. And then we can extend that air stair. Well, my friends, and that's everything I can offer you today. So, welcome to Berlin. I do hope you liked this one. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one. Thank you very much, and well, as always, if you did like the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on the channel, why not consider a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below.